Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mani, and today we plan to delve into another criminal case. Rhonda Costo, a young and beloved model from Portland, United States, was known for her kind spirit and good-hearted nature. With her zest for life, she was considered the life of any party among friends and acquaintances. However, the life of this 23-year-old model was a tale filled with complexities. In 2005, Rhonda's mother, Julia, met Stephen Nichols, who was looking for a rental home. Stephen's charming and lovable personality quickly attracted Julia. Stephen soon met Rhonda and was impressed by her beauty and remarkable personality. Despite a significant age difference, Rhonda seemed interested in Stephen as well. Their relationship deepened over time, and Rhonda moved into Stephen's house, forming close relationships with his family, including his sisters, Melanie and Tessa. 3 years later, they became parents to a daughter. Rhonda adored her daughter and was known as an exceptional mother. Motherhood became the best part of her life, and she cherished every moment with her daughter. As time passed, Stephen and Rhonda continued to live together, a testament to a life shared without formal marriage. Rhonda occasionally pondered their living arrangement but hoped that one day they would formalize it. Stephen claimed they had plans to make their relationship official in the summer of 2009, according to his work schedule. However, returning to modeling after pregnancy was challenging for Rhonda. Following Stephen's suggestion, they decided to use Oregon's hiking trails to lose postpartum weight. Life seemed to be going well for them. Yet, close friends told a different story. Jessica Colburn, Rhonda's close friend, mentioned that the couple had an argument before one of their hikes, and Rhonda had even documented injuries from a fight with Stephen. Both Rhonda and Stephen enjoyed outdoor activities, so their decision to hike at Eagle Creek on March 16, 2009, seemed natural. Before leaving, Rhonda called her mother to ask her to take care of her daughter, Annie, with much optimism and enthusiasm in her voice. She even joked, "He's either going to propose to me, or he's planning to kill me." When they reached the park and started their hike, Stephen later claimed Rhonda exhibited strange behavior. Stephen said Rhonda asked him twice if he would take care of their daughter if something happened to her. He found the question odd but agreed. Soon it began to rain, and the details of the story became dark and unclear. Stephen stated they decided to return due to worsening weather, but Rhonda chose to continue running with a towel around her shoulders, jokingly saying, "I'm Supergirl." However, Eagle Creek trails can be dangerous, and running on a hazardous trail is risky. Rhonda eventually veered off the path and fell from a 150-foot height, losing her life. Stephen claimed that Rhonda was running and might have been under the influence of drugs when she slipped and fell off the cliff. Stephen sought help, and when the police and emergency services arrived, evidence suggested Stephen's story did not match reality. Rhonda's body was found 50 feet away from the river, not beside it, with no sign of the rescue effort Stephen claimed to have made. When questioned about these inconsistencies, he provided no answers, claiming he was confused and couldn't remember. In 2006, Stephen decided to move to China, away from all the events, and started a new life in Wuyi, nearly 75 miles outside of Shanghai. In China, Stephen and his daughter adapted to their new life, and Stephen met Landy, who developed a loving relationship with his daughter and played a parental role for her. While Stephen was in China, detectives diligently investigated his former girlfriend Rhonda's suspicious death. The unclear events leading to Rhonda's fall from Eagle Creek led to a prolonged investigation, eventually concluding that Stephen was responsible for her death. However, for 2 years, no significant progress was made in the case. The police could not prove Stephen's guilt in the murder, and he managed to gain full custody of his daughter, Annie. Rhonda's mother played a significant role in the ongoing investigation, constantly in touch with detectives and demanding updates on the case. After a year of dating, Stephen decided to take his relationship with Landy to the next level and propose to her. Landy happily accepted. In February 2015, Stephen and his daughter returned to the United States to hold their wedding ceremony, with plans for 2 ceremonies in both the United States and China, to include their families and friends in their celebration. Stephen and his daughter arrived in the United States one day before his fiancée, at San Francisco Airport, to catch their next flight to Oregon. There, an officer approached Stephen and informed him that he needed to be detained due to an issue with his bag. The police then arrested Stephen for the murder of Rhonda and transported him to Oregon. By posting a $250,000 bond, Stephen was quickly released after his arrest. The news of his arrest on charges of Rhonda's murder brought immense joy to his family, who had long hoped for justice. Rhonda's mother, in particular, couldn't contain her emotions and shed tears of happiness. For Rhonda's family and friends, this arrest provided a sense of relief and solace after years of grieving. Following the arrest, Stephen's lawyer, along with an investigative team, headed to Eagle Creek, where Rhonda allegedly fell accidentally from a cliff. They conducted tests to demonstrate in court that Rhonda's fall was the result of an accident and not caused by Stephen throwing her. The defense attorney emphasized the popularity of the Eagle Creek area for hiking and its scenic beauty alongside the Columbia River, bolstering their case. Regarding Rhonda, evidence was presented showing that she struggled with depression and had contemplated suicide. These documents aimed to cast doubt on the accusatory theory that Stephen had violently harmed her, resulting in her death. During this period, Rhonda's family firmly believed that Stephen Nichols was responsible for her death and urged the police to arrest him on murder charges. The questioning of Stephen continued regarding his conflicting stories and claims. In one instance, Stephen suggested that Rhonda might have jumped from the height and committed suicide. He asserted that Rhonda, suffering from postpartum depression, was unhappy with the physical changes in her body. However, Rhonda's parents rejected these claims, asserting that she had never experienced such feelings. They emphasized that her love for her daughter, Annie, was so profound that regret held no meaning for her. According to Stephen's statements, Rhonda had been battling drug-related issues since the age of 12. Stephen claimed she had experimented with a wide range of drugs. However, medical reports only indicated typical use of marijuana and prescribed medications to manage anxiety and postpartum depression, nothing more. Furthermore, it was revealed that Stephen was involved in another romantic relationship at that time. Despite the police's best efforts to find leads, the case did not progress. Then Rhonda's mother came forward with valuable information. Rhonda's sister, Melanie, had an intimate relationship with Stephen. She was only 15 years old, while Stephen was 34. Initially, Julia dismissed Melanie's claims, thinking she was trying to separate Rhonda and Stephen. However, after all the events, Julia wasn't so sure. To her surprise, Stephen admitted it. He said he regretted his actions and took responsibility. Ultimately, the police could try him for legal sexual assault. Melanie reported that after Rhonda's death, Stephen approached her and insisted they live together. He claimed that Annie, Rhonda's young daughter, was too young to remember her mother and that he could take Rhonda's place. Naturally, Melanie was uncomfortable with this proposition. Stephen's inappropriate relationship with Melanie could have been a motive for Rhonda's murder. After Stephen's arrest for Rhonda's murder, he was also charged with 2 counts of third-degree sexual assault and 3 counts of third-degree sodomy related to his relationship with Melanie Casto, the girlfriend of Rhonda's sister. While awaiting trial for Rhonda's murder in 2005, Stephen confessed to 2 counts of sexual abuse. The statement he signed read, "I had sexual relations with Melanie Casto twice." However, Stephen claimed that he was coerced into making the confession, and his admission was false. According to Stephen, the only reason he confessed was that the law allowed him to fight for custody of his daughter. Stephen said he was desperate and wanted to regain custody of his daughter. On the other hand, the state claimed that Stephen and Melanie's relationship lasted more than 4 years. Later, Stephen admitted to having a sexual relationship with Rhonda's teenage sister. The state presented the text message that Rhonda had sent to her teenage sister Melanie, who had a secret relationship with Stephen, on the day of her fateful hike in Eagle Creek before her death. In a text message, Rhonda referred to Stephen as a piece of garbage and accused him of using Melanie to harm her. Rhonda's mother believed that Rhonda knew Stephen was trying to create a rift between Rhonda and Melanie. She claimed that Rhonda loved her younger sister and wanted to mend their relationship. According to the state's statements, everything in the relationship between Rhonda and Stephen, as Stephen claimed, was not good, and the court was provided with more evidence. With further investigations, the police learned about Stephen's divorce. His former wife had confronted him multiple times and considered him mentally unstable. She said he had attempted to kill her several times. He choked her, tried to throw her off a balcony, and even attempted to beat her to the point of death. Unfortunately, the judge dismissed his claims and acquitted Stephen. Rhonda's family persistently believed that her boyfriend, Stephen, was responsible for her death. They felt that he had killed her to benefit from the life insurance policy he had taken out on her, which he had recently increased. Additionally, about 10 days after Rhonda's death, the police discovered that Stephen had requested to claim Rhonda's $1 million life insurance policy. It was strange to the police because very few people had a $1 million life insurance policy at the age of 23. After investigations, they found that Stephen had only recently taken out this policy against her name. Even though Stephen claimed that Rhonda had the idea to obtain this insurance, the police or Rhonda's family were not convinced. In fact, Rhonda's family provided information suggesting that Stephen had lost his money a few years ago and was likely using this avenue to recover it. Furthermore, everyone who knew Rhonda could confirm that she had a deep attachment to her 9-month-old twins and had never contemplated suicide, especially not from the heights of Eagle Creek in May 2017. When Rhonda's family learned that the government had arranged a plea deal with defense attorneys, they were deeply shocked and affected. Stephen confessed to a lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter. Although the state considered him responsible for Rhonda's death, they were aware that there was insufficient physical evidence to prove that he had thrown her off Eagle Creek. Stephen had not previously confessed before the trial, but he had to be under supervision for 3 years. Rhonda's family and friends believed that Stephen's confession in this plea deal was unjust. They felt that he should face a harsher punishment for his actions. During Stephen's sentencing hearing, Rhonda's sister delivered a powerful statement. She expressed her anger and frustration towards him, telling him that he had destroyed her entire family and caused endless pain and suffering. Rhonda's mother also voiced her confusion and distress, unable to comprehend how Stephen could take her daughter away from her. Stephen claimed he hadn't thrown Rhonda, but he had accepted the deal because time was running out to regain custody of his daughter. He asserted that he was willing to accept the consequences of his actions, but despite Stephen's claims, Rhonda's family and friends remained unconvinced. In a 2018 interview, Stephen made a surprising claim about Rhonda's fate. According to Stephen, on the tragic day, Rhonda was still alive when he found her walking down the Eagle Creek Trail. During the conversation, the interviewer asked Stephen if he had played a role in relieving Rhonda's pain. Stephen responded with a hypothetical question: if someone kills their partner to better understand their pain, would this act be considered murder? He suggested that such an action might be justified as a convincing reason, but it would still be a killing. Although Stephen never explicitly confessed to harming Rhonda, his statements hinted at the possibility of his involvement in her death. In 2017, Rhonda's mother requested to benefit from survivor benefits in the name of her infant daughter. Her granddaughter lived with her, and she promised that the benefits would be used for her care. However, authorities revealed that from April 2010 to December 2014, the time when Rhonda's mother claimed her granddaughter lived with her, she was actually living with Stephen. The state accused Rhonda's mother of insurance fraud amounting to approximately $40,000 over 5 years. Rhonda's mother's attorneys argued that she had tried to prevent Stephen from gaining custody of their child and Rhonda. She didn't want him to benefit from the $1 million life insurance policy he had purchased for Rhonda, which he had recently increased. The defense claimed that Rhonda's mother's actions were influenced by deep depression after her daughter's death, and she used marijuana as a form of self-medication to cope with her grief. They argued that this consumption had led to impaired judgment. Ultimately, the judge sentenced Rhonda's mother, at the age of 53, to 1 month in prison and 3 years of probation. This sentence came after her admission to insurance theft charges. In addition to the prison term and probation, she was required to repay $39,100 as restitution for the insurance benefits. Since October 2015, Rhonda's daughter and Stephen have been in foster care since the Department of Human Services took custody. This decision followed Stephen's admission to sexually abusing a 13-year-old girl. Subsequently, a family court in Oregon revoked Stephen's parental rights. Stephen challenged this decision.